أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد. I was actually reading one of the books of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, Al-Jawab al-Sahih, and then he was responding to one of the bishops. So what the bishop claimed is that he had heard about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he asked someone to bring the Quran for him. So he read it entirely, and then he fetched out some verses, and then he was claiming that these verses clearly mention that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not sent to the Christians. In fact, he was only sent to the Arabs. And then some of the evidence he brought are all these verses. لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاءَهُم. You come to preach to the people that no prophet had come to their fathers. He said, now this verse clearly shows that he was sent to the Arabs only. Because as for us, messengers and prophets have came before him. Jesus Christ had came and many other prophets have came. So when Ibn Taymiyyah was responding, he now started with a good approach. And the approach he started is that he said, when you are trying to respond to somebody, the first thing is to look at the source of the message, look at the messenger first before the content. A good example is if a doctor comes and he check you, and then he said, I am going to give you prescription. I'm going to send some medications to you. And then he left. Next thing you see a different person that you don't know him. And then he comes and claims to you that it is that medical doctor that sent me with these prescriptions. So instead of you to collect the medications or the prescriptions to confirm it, to check whether it is right or wrong, he said this is illogical approach. What you are expected to do is to first find out that messenger. Is he actually honest? Is he actually sent by this physician or not? That is the most important one. So the first step is to check the messenger. Is he reliable or not? If he's not reliable, then the entire content is wrong. If he is honest, trustworthy, then that is when you go into the message, the content. Another example is a scammer comes to you and he said, if you are to give me 1 million naira, within 1 month, I will give you 100% profit. So definitely, the first approach that you will do is to disqualify him. Why? Because you know that him being a scammer is a liar. So if he is a liar, the entire message will be wrong. You don't have to even go into the content. So the first thing logically you will do is to first check the messenger, check the source. If it is reliable, then you go into the content. Secondly, now after they have skipped the first step and the most important one, then they moved into the content. They jump into the content and then they also made mistake. They made a blunder. What have they done? There is something what the psychologists call confirmation bias. It is a situation whereby you made a claim, you bring an evidence to support your claim, but then it is wrong. It is a confirmation, you confirm it, but then it is false. For example, if a mother said to a child, when you finish your homework, when you finish your assignment, you can go out to play. So when the child is seen playing outside, they ask him, who asked you to come out? He said, my mother. So if you look at this message clearly, you see that it is true that his mother is the one who tells him to come out. But in reality, it is bias. Why? Because the child has ignored some part of the message. Because the message says, if you finish your homework, you can go out. So he ignored the first part of the message, that if you finish your homework. So the child did not lie, but then he is false. That is why they call it confirmation bias. He confirmed the message that yes, this person is the one who tells me, but then he put some bias, he put some subjectivity. So that is the kind of approach they did. They ignore some part of the messages of the Quran because there are many verses which Rasul Sallam says, Ya ayyuhan nas, inni Rasulullahi ilaykum jami'an. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, oh, you people, I am a messenger to you, all the mankind, jami'an. And then some verses talked about that he is sent to the Arabs.